Hello everyone, this right here is the Epomaker collaboration with Createkeebs, the High65v2. And boy oh boy, I am really enjoying this keyboard for the past week or so. And I must say, this came to me as a surprise. This could well be my favorite mechanical keyboard for 2023. Createkeebs is a well-known keyboard designer and brand. They have a lot of high-end keyboards out in the market, such as the Glacier 80, the Terra 75, and the High65v1, all of which are popular in the community, all of which are very good. Epomaker, on the other hand, has a lot of keyboard releases as well, and personally for me, I think Epomaker targets the entry to the mid-level price point for mechanical keyboards. They have sent me several keyboards for review, and the one that I liked most before was the Epomaker EK68, which was my travel keyboard for quite some time until it was replaced recently by the Keymove K68. Okay, that being said, before we begin, this unit is of course sent over by Epomaker for my honest review. All thoughts and opinion are my own and will not be affected in any way. Alright, with that being put aside, I'm really surprised that Epomaker was able to pull off a keyboard with these specifications and a keyboard that is really super good. Alright, this keyboard is so good. Yes, of course, it's a collaboration with Createkeebs, so expected nothing less, but really surprised for several reasons. This keyboard, first and foremost, is in stock. That alone gives this keyboard a huge edge to the other keyboards at this price point. And mind you, when I saw the pricing, the website, this keyboard sells for $279. That is not cheap. That is not budget. That is not entry level. That is on the mid to high tier price point. And when I first saw that pricing, I was like, this might be problematic, because there's nothing super new about this offering. All right, it's an aluminum gasket mounted keyboard. Yes, we've seen that. There's an internal weight, but honestly, it's not really an internal weight. It's more of a weight at the back piece of the keyboard, very small. I'll show you a picture later. It's wired only, south-facing PCB. Yes, there's no perky RGB. And all in all, if you take a look at it, yeah, it does have specs of high-end premium keyboards. But on paper, if you look at it, there's really nothing super new that they have to offer. And then I had to search on the High65v1, and my first impression was aesthetically the V1 looked a bit better, especially with those subtle logo that you see on the back and on the front. This one, the front portion of this keyboard was left blank and plain. And so that was my first thought, and all of those thoughts, all of those hesitations were completely thrown out of the window when I opened this keyboard and when I first used it. It's really good. You get a premium packaging, you get everything that you need, and what you get inside is a keyboard that is already built and that is already near perfect out of the box. And that is crazy. Here's the stock sound test. This is insane. That was the sound test with the Gatron CJ. So bear in mind, when buying this keyboard, you have very few options. You have only two colorways, a dark gray and a retro white, and you only have two awesome switch selection, the Baby Kangaroo Gatron and the Gatron CJ. I got the retro white with the Gatron CJ. Do take note, I have to mention the CJs. There are two versions. The darker CJ are the stock CJs. Those were the first released. These are the lighter blue CJs, which are factory lube. And that sounded awesome. It felt awesome. It sounded awesome. Of course, the Gatron CJs are one of the best switches of 2022, and that's a good selection for Epomaker going in that direction. I do hear that the Kangaroos are also good switches as well. It's crazy. It's crazy how perfect, how good this keyboard out of the box. The stabilizers are tuned well. You don't have to mod them. The keycaps are very thick. Legends are very clear. I like the colorway. I measured the keycaps. These are PBT keycaps. It's 1.6 millimeter, the same thickness as the XMI keycaps that I've been using on my Mr. Suit. That is really, really good. All right. Inside the keyboard, when you open it up, it's very basic. It's very basic, and that's what makes it awesome. It's basic, but it works. All right. Screw-in stabilizers, yeah, you do get that. It has all the foams that you might need. The PCB is 1.6 millimeter with several flex cuts. Just a few flex cuts on the top and a few on the bottom. Not too much. Perfect, in my opinion. The plate has a decent amount of flex cut, again giving it a nice soft typing feel, but not going overboard, not making the sound thin. And what I like most about this keyboard is that it just works in any configuration that I've tried it with. At the end of the video, I will show you a barrage of sound tests from the different switches and configurations that I've tried it. And I can tell you right here, right now, it works well in any combination. Throw in any configuration without foam, with just a plate foam, with all of the foams. Throw in any switches. I've tried the Melodies, the CJs, the Acco Cream Yellow V3 Pros. In all of those configurations and specifications, it sounds nice, it feels nice, it just works. It really just works. And that is something that I can rarely say about keyboards. There are a lot of keyboards that would have a best configuration, that would be choosy in its configuration. This one simply works. It simply does. All right. Aesthetics. We're diving into aesthetics right now in my recent reviews, because I think I'm getting deeper into the hobby. I love the colorway. I love the font selection. I'm not a fan of big fonts, but for some reason this looks pleasing in the eyes. I think it works. Kind of a retro vibe going on, but very nice. Nothing fancy. I love the finish. Very smooth, almost perfect finish. At the back is very minimalist, and I love it. With just this accent weight over here that says High Think Studio, for me it's perfect. I really do. I do love it. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too flashy, but it does give you a hint that, hey, this is not your ordinary keyboard. This is something special. All right. So, final thoughts in conclusion. I think this keyboard is near perfect. For me, honestly, it's near perfect. The price point might be the only thing that will turn off many users, but do consider this. You're getting a very good set of keycaps, that alone would probably cost you $40 to $50, and then you do get an awesome set of switches, which is another $40 to $50. So if you think about it, this keyboard, bare bones, might cost around $200 or less. And that's competitive. That's the price range that you get with the JRE65, the QK65. That's really competitive. All right. So What are my suggestions to Epomaker? Epomaker Createkeebs, if you're listening, I do suggest you offer this keyboard bare bones, because I think that would brighten up the market a bit. That would make it more appealing to many people. Um, and probably give a wireless option, because that's what's the trend nowadays: a wireless option, a wireless configuration. Aside from those two, nothing else I could say. Good job. Good job, really. Good job, Epomaker and Createkeebs, for bringing out this keyboard in the market. All of you guys listening out there, do consider this. Who is this for? I think this are for people who want a premium keyboard experience that is very good right out of the box. If you are very lazy or you don't have the time to tinker around, assemble, and everything, then this might be the keyboard for you. But people would say, Doc, I love assembling keyboards, and that's why we're into the hobby, because of its modularity, its customizability. This keyboard has it. It's good out of the box, but you can play around with it, configure it in any way you want, and it delivers. It simply delivers. All right, that's it. I've said enough. I've said too much probably, but that's how good this keyboard is. Epomaker Createkeebs High65v2, thumbs up. Probably one of my favorite keyboards of all times. I'm putting you way up there in the level of the Mr. Suit. And boy oh boy, that means so much, because you all know that the Mr. Suit is my favorite keyboard of all time. Thank you for listening, guys, and I will see you in the next video.